Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take2 Radio, and thanks for listening.
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is David from Take2 Radio Soaps and Review, and we got a special show for us tonight. I'm subbing for Pam, who is doing some personal time, but I have my main girl, Candace.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. And we are joined tonight by Rachel and Nathan.
Hello.
Hey, this is Rachel from SoapDirt.com. Glad to be here.
Same here. It's great to be here.
So, we got a little Candace. We were told special news from Pam earlier in the month that on our next show, Carolyn will be coming back with us.
Yep. Yay.
She will. Yes, she will.
Great news.
That's good news, and we got her once a month. She managed to get once a month with us. So that's good news for us.
Very good news. So what are we digging into first tonight?
Why don't we hit Y&R for her? Because I got some questions. Candace, you want to start it off?
Yeah, sure. Well, real quick, because there was some news, obviously. We haven't been on since really my birthday, actually. So the major news is a couple of things. You guys know there's some returns that are coming back to the Young and the Restless for their 50th anniversary, which kicks off on March 22nd, which is not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. But we also found out that we're getting a prime time special. This has not happened since 1998.
Oh, God, no.
And basically it's going to be on the 27th, which is a Monday. I know, folks. I know. I'm with you guys with this one. Obviously, because Sunday is the actual anniversary, but they figured, why celebrate it on a Sunday? We can celebrate it on Monday. So it's going to be an hour-long special. They're going to go over, the history, and also how has pop culture changed because of Young and the Restless, and how has Young and the Restless changed itself due to the pop culture of the world? Think about that.
Ooh.
Just think about it, because it kind of has. On both
yeah.
ways.
It has.
Yeah. So you're going to get never-the-seen or footage, behind the scenes of the wardrobe and the purses, which I'm going to take. Did I say that out loud? I am so sorry.
Yeah, you did.
I'm just saying. Oh,
Get
well,
one
y'all
for
know
me, girl.
my shopping. Right? Shoot, I already got a list of whose wardrobe I'm hitting up. So that's coming up soon. On the show, I will say, I am very intrigued with this whole Jeremy Stark situation because Jack, okay, I'm hoping for something. So Jack and Diane, Diane accepted the proposal. She had this lovely daydream, which I'm still cracking up about everybody getting along and Jeremy being the nightmare. And Phyllis has been down on her luck, and Jeremy kind of saved her. So now the partnership from hell has been made. And now Phyllis and Jeremy are, like, working together to kind of bring down Diane. And it's just a lot going on. Meanwhile, you have Tucker and Devon. Devon is kind of, like, rethinking the whole situation about Hamilton Winters and with Lily and Jill and that whole drama. At the same time, Tucker's like, I wash my hands clean. Ashley is the conservative, you know, she has the company, and you know they bring up Devon and like, you know, why not let Devon run it? So he's like thinking, you know, Devon is kind of like, I don't want it, but let me sit down and think about it. So that's where we're at with that. Somebody finally called out something that I've been saying about Chelsea and Billy's quote-unquote friendship, whatever you want to call it. I'm glad that Sharon spoke up about it, saying that Chelsea is being too needy and dependent on Billy. Billy's not looking at it that way. Adam kind of sees that, kind of like that. Let me see. I guess Mariah and Tessa have a kid now. I don't know because Younger Russell doesn't play that. Yeah, shade. I did some shade.
You're 100% right, because they have one gay couple and they get zero airtime when they should be celebrating. They're more concerned with the pea-sized fetus in Sally than the baby, the whole baby that the lesbian couple has that should be front and center getting seen.
And say, about that. So Summer found out that Sally is carrying her uncle's baby while dating her father.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yep.
Let me just say this, because I've gone on Twitter Spaces. You guys have probably heard me say all this. I do not understand. One, why do we have to do a Who's Your Daddy storyline, even though it's not a Who's Your Daddy storyline anymore, because Sally basically said to Adam, look, I'm carrying this child. We're not getting back together. I'm with Nick. I've been through this storyline before.
Right.
With Stage, I've been with it through Chelsea. I'm just like, I don't understand why that, when you're right. You have Mariah and Tessa who went through a adoption process, and we didn't see none of it. We heard about it, but we haven't seen it. And I wanted to see some beats being played, like Sharon and Nick being grandparents. Come on now.
I also want to know with Y&R, like they brought back Zach Tinker for that one scene, and then outed him as gay, had his boyfriend, and then he's gone.
Oh yeah.
And
Come on, Rich.
I feel like that the GLAAD Awards should have like a negative award where they like give you a downvote for paying this minimal lip service to the community and then not airing them at all, you know?
Well, okay.
Yeah, my jaw dropped too for that one.
Can we be completely honest with that, though?
Yeah.
I was going to say, can we be completely honest about why they did that, though? Let's keep it 100. They wanted to do that because they knew that Zach Tinker was doing great over at Days of Our Lives.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is that, and this is my opinion and my opinion alone, I feel as though Young and the Rustlers is trying to say, hey, we're like that too. You know, because for so many years, and I have to always do this, Young and the Rustlers has kind of been in the middle of certain things. The fact is that Adam, I think we all know the story. Adam was supposed to be gay. Chance was supposed to be gay. You had Philip, you know, Philip Chance was Chance's daddy, gay. That didn't go over so well with a lot of people because of the way the storyline was written, you know, that he faked his death and all that stuff. Okay. So now you gave Mariah and Tessa. Shout out to Sally Sussman because she pushed for that. But the problem with this was, and I said it, is you're going to have to show us them after the wedding. You're going to have to treat them right. You have to treat them the same way you will treat a Kyle and Summer, a Devon and Amanda, or Elena or Victoria, whoever. You decided to go the baby route, which was there were so many beats to be played that I'm like, come on, Young and the Restless, now y'all know better. Y'all know y'all should have played certain beats. Because now I'm like, are you guys going to bring this girl on? Is she going to have a problem? Like, you didn't do none of that. Next thing I know, baby's born. I'm like, what? I was like, okay, kid's here.
Not showing it.
If you remember, like 2 years ago, it was about 2 years ago, I think, CBS overall made this big diversity pledge about casting and da-da-da-da-da. And then it's like, okay, lip service when it comes to the LGBTQIA community. I mean, I do think Y&R is doing better with having minorities front and center in storylines, but they're really failing the other community, I think, you know.
I mean, I look at Sony.
Yeah.
I have to look at Sony in response to that, too, because, and I think sometimes people forget that Sony is the major shareholder of both Young and the Restless and Days of Our Lives. So sometimes the distribution companies sometimes overrules network a little bit. And I remember that pledge that CBS said. I remember that. But at the same time, I look at Sony and I'm like, because on one hand, you're doing service to Days of Our Lives, right? At the same time, Young and the Restless, it's like they're trying to move forward, but their forward is sort of like General Hospital. We have this representation on a show, but that doesn't mean we have to show them 5 days a week. We just have them here so that way we don't get in trouble, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because it's unfortunate because there's so much story that you could be telling with these two, and I don't understand why you're not telling. Like, to me, okay, the fact that Mariah wants a baby after just giving birth
and getting kidnapped while pregnant.
Right, but that's a story, right, that she's doing it for some kind of emotional, because she needs something to, like, hold her together. We don't know that much about Tessa, I mean, other than Crystal. Y'all remember Crystal, right? Okay.
Right. Yeah, the sister and the whole thing,
Right. You should have brought up so much past trauma, and also the fact of maybe Tessa doesn't want to be a mom. You know, maybe there's something that's holding her back. Why is Mariah 110 on this, or is she doing it for another reason? What about this girl? What's her name? Daphne? Delphine. Something. Delphine. Thank you. I would have loved to meet her. I would have loved to know a little bit about her. You don't have to force her down my throat every single day, but give me some backstory. Like, is she okay with this? Does she, know that this child is going to be a part of a big family like the Newmans? Is she worried? Is she concerned? Like, play certain beats. You didn't do it.
Reminds me of, this reminds me of, like, if you've ever read a big, long book and then you read the cliff notes of it where you just hit the high points, it's like we're getting the cliff notes of their relationship instead of seeing it play out.
It's not even the cliff note version.
Yeah. Can I say something? So the Jack and Diane and Jeremy and Phyllis thing, I'm really enjoying it. I'm also enjoying seeing Victoria in heat and trying really hard to get laid because she clearly needs to get laid. But I noticed this picture the other day, and I had someone write it here at soapdirt.com because it kind of caught my eye. James Hyde posted a picture on Instagram where he was in costume, and he was on the set. You could see the CBS thing behind him, and he was in a formal outfit. like a dress shirt, a bow tie, and the kind of vest that goes with like a rental tux or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if the big play that he and Phyllis, where this is all going to explode, is at Jack and Diane's wedding. Because Phyllis is playing like, oh, I'm so happy for you, blah, blah, blah. So she might actually get an invite, bring him along, and whatever they're doing, I'm sure they're plotting to get her arrested, set her up for a crime or something by trying to steal her stuff, you know. Phyllis is unhinged, and she also needs to get laid, and I'm cheering for her and Stark. Maybe they can, you know, do some mattress dancing, and they can both calm down, you know.
I just want, okay, I think for me, and I'll speak for myself enough, I truly believe Diane has not changed 110%. Maybe 74%, maybe 74%, maybe 62%. But I feel as though there's something that needs to be addressed. Now, I get what everybody is saying. Nikki, Ashley, and especially Phyllis needs to back off because Diane has been there for almost a whole year now, and she has done nothing to prove their point. Yes, there's something that Jeremy either has on Diane or whatnot. I'm going to tell you something. In true soap form for me, and I'm going to say, if I'm going to do my hashtag, if I was the writer for Young and the Restless, I would have it where Phyllis does get egg on her face. There's nothing. Diane is clean. Yeah. And her, you know, and when Diane, you know, I mean, when Phyllis finds out, everything is clean. Diane is clean. However, on a Thursday or Friday cliffhanger, I would have Diane reveal or somebody reveal that Diane and Jeremy are working in cahoots together to bring Jabot down or something like that. That Jeremy played Phyllis to make Phyllis feel as though, okay, you know, you're trying to get Diane in trouble, but I'm good. Like Jeremy, me being Jeremy, is like, okay, I'm going to make sure that Phyllis gets egg on her face and that, you know, the picture of Diane is like, oh, she's great. She has done nothing. It was all me. But in reality, Jeremy and Diane are working together. That's where you do a soap opera. Thank you.
I think that would be really a
good idea.
And very interesting, but the very fact that it's interesting and would be great is why the writers are not going to do that. They're going to pick something much more boring.
I mean, unless somebody fakes a dust.
The vibe that the reason that I don't think they're going that route, I wish they would go that route, but the reason I don't think they're going that route is simply because of the interactions one-on-one with Diane and Jeremy when they're alone, you know. But that doesn't mean they won't do a 180 and do that and ignore the fact that prior scenes contradict the notion. But I would like to see that. I really am just waiting on Phyllis. She's hit rock bottom, and now she's digging. And I definitely want to see egg on her face, too, because she's just frenetic. To be honest, I miss Gina Tognoni, and I know that's probably rude to say, but the energy that has been with Phyllis since they fired Gina and brought in Michelle has been weird to me. She's got, like, a manic energy about her, you know. And I feel like they were talking about, remember when he hired her away from General Hospital and fired Gina, he said something about bringing back iconic characters. But so I think it was a coup for them to steal her away, but then they haven't written anything good for her.
So let me address this because I actually know some things about that whole thing with Michelle and Gina.
Okay.
It was a real weird time because I understand why everybody thinks that, what happened.
Yeah.
But reality was Gina Tognoni was flying from New Jersey to Los Angeles almost every single day. Like she would catch the red eye here, there, and everywhere. Gina also wanted to become a mom. And, you know, I know a lot of people felt a certain type of way because, again, the timing of everything was just weird. And keep in mind, over on General Hospital, they was talking a lot about cults. And some people don't really truly believe in that, or they don't want to believe in that because of some purpose, that we're not going to talk about.
Right.
But the thing is that I remember that interview. I remember when he said iconic people. That was a cover-up, too, because, you brought some people back. You did. But, again, it was one of those weird timing. Now, I will say this. Phyllis being the way that Phyllis is Phyllis. You go in the record book. This is how she is. When she's desperate, she is really desperate. She will do things. She will become unhinged real quick to prove a point. That's always been Phyllis's A game. I think the writing for Phyllis hasn't really synced up because I think the problem is that you have two acting styles to go along with these writings. With Gina's Phyllis, you got to remember, Phyllis came out of a coma. So her thing was trying to get her life back as well as letting things go. Versus Michelle Phyllis, it's you keep poking me, I'm going to poke back. But at the same time, if you come back and it's something wrong, like if I'm getting a sixth sense about you, I'm going to find out what it is. That's always been Phyllis. So to me, it's like right now, keep in mind, Summer, fire her, said, bye, Mom, see you. Like, not today. Daniel, told her, see you, sister, like, bye. Jack kind of said, you know what? Bye. Like, so pretty much even Michael and Lauren has said to her, stop. Stop. If you have an issue with Diane, you have an issue with Diane. But if you don't have any evidence, back off. Let Diane mess up on her own. And I get that you kind of looking out for Jack. I get it. But at the same time, Jack's a big boy. He's an idiot sometimes, but he's a big boy. So, like I said, with Phyllis, she's desperate, which means she's unhinged, which means, oh, God help us. Because the last time she did that, she hit somebody with a car.
That's true.
Maybe that's what's going to happen.
That's true, yes.
Oh, my God, once that happens, Phyllis hits the iron on her wedding day. Wait, can we get a location?
I definitely think something's going down at the wedding. That's my suspicion. Just based on just based on his costume that he was in the other day. It's like that looks like a wedding.
Somebody's going to fake it. For some reason too, I think somebody's going to set somebody else where they're going to think somebody died. Sort of like a la Diane. Like Diane faked her death.
Yeah, because they're stealing stuff of hers to obviously plant at some sort of crime scene.
Right.
Maybe they're plotting to do to Diane exactly what Diane did when she faked her own death. And
her death. Yep.
Yeah.
And plus,
I saw something.
Go ahead.
No, I saw something. I think I saw something online. And the picture, it was, I think, in TV Guide, and it was, I think, a picture actually of Phyllis at some kind of church or something. It was that, trademark signature, kind of funeral picture that I saw in there, when someone posted it, because it looks like it may be a funeral for Phyllis, so who knows?
That would be interesting if she faked her death. That would make sense. Makes sense. I'm looking for the picture because I'm very curious. I'll find it later. All right. That's very interesting. So, David, what are we talked a lot about Y&R for about 20 minutes. What are we moving on to now? What's next?
Well, one thing I want to touch up on is that conversation that Nikki had with Michael and Lauren about they're going to have that masked ball all over again. I applaud that. There's one thing missing. Nikki wasn't there. To my knowledge, Nikki wasn't at that ball.
The one from the 90s?
I don't know where she was. The one where they all dressed up, yeah.
So technically she was there. In characteristics, she was there, but we never saw her.
We never
it's
saw
sort of
her.
like it's sort of like everybody was there. She was somewhere around, but we just didn't see her.
That's right. She's saying because she remembers seeing everybody, and I said, well, I'm thinking to myself, I don't remember seeing her.
Mhm. By the way, Josh Griffin and writers, me and some other people would like some more money from Venmo because we kind of gave you this idea last year. Thank you.
Do we have updated news on who else is coming to visit?
Miguel. Hey, wait a minute. I got to applaud the FBI of Soap Twitter because we saw this picture that's in the TV guide to let everybody know that the stuff starts on the 22nd. And everybody kept saying the guy in the back of Nikki looked familiar. Now, keep in mind, this guy has a mask on, right? So it's not like we can see the face. When I tell you again, the FBI of Soap Twitter, look, Soap fans, if you ever need to know something, you just put out the word on Soap Twitter, and the FBI of Soap Twitter will come and find you those answers. Because sure enough, everybody was like, that looks like what's-call-it. And everybody was like, no, it can't be. No way. We would have heard about it. And the actor actually came out on Twitter and said, oh, I guess the secret's out now. I guess you guys found out. I'm back.
Yeah, I saw that too. That was funny.
I was like, what's up? I was like,
I missed that one.
I was like, wow. I was like, okay. I said, all right, let's go. There's a couple more people that I'm hoping maybe they'll wait to. I mean, well, they got a couple of days, but you know, I'm going to say this. I'm just glad that I'm seeing people that I didn't think I would ever see again. You know what I mean? Like I didn't never think I was going to see Gina. I didn't think I was going to see Patty Weaver back. I didn't think I would see my Leanne Love. I didn't think I was ever going to see her again.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. So yeah.
Do you think they're hiding Kimberly Brown?
You know, I would love for them to shock me with this. Because it's one thing to do a nice gala and everybody coming back. And, you know, you got Aunt May probably going to be over there with Devon and Lily, you know, trying to figure what the heck is going on with them. And Nate, I should say Nate. You got Leanne Love coming in, probably going to be nosies of her, trying to find out what's the latest, you know, drama in the DC universe. You got, you know, Danny and Gina. They're probably going to get with Tracy and Lauren. We're going to get a song, y'all. We're going to get a song. Back in the 80s, get ready. I would love for them to either shock us that Sheila or something is happening. The idea that I had, that some other people had, was David Kemple would pop up.
That was my other guess, too.
I mean, I would love that, especially if his daughter's in town. Just saying. Make it happen, folks. But I do want them to do a surprise because real talk, I think a lot of us who watch Days of Our Lives during the 50th anniversary, who watches Young and the Restless as well, we're all kind of just like on pins and needles to see how Josh Griffin does this.
Right.
So far, it's more alive than what Days was, dark and gloomy. So, you know, and we got some returns. But I do want to see what else, because them just throwing a party, that's great. But I need something to be like, oh, my God, that's how Young and the Restless 50th anniversary, folks. Like, oh, my gosh, that was best.
Excellent.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it.
Besides us getting a new intro.
Same music.
Yeah, the new intro. Right? The new intro is going to be debuting soon. Yeah.
Oh, good. I always like it when they tune it up and make it a little more current. Now we can go on to B&B, and there's more trouble there. I have a question for you guys. Were you as disappointed as I was that Douglas already changed his mind?
I was not surprised. I was very disappointed, though.
They made a big deal about the cliff and Malibu and be careful, and people were like, oh, something's going to happen, and I was like, nothing's going to happen. Bold never does anything actually dramatic. Very rarely, you know.
Once in a blue moon.
I'll be honest with you. I wasn't surprised by Douglas' decision because I know where this is going. I know who he's gotten this idea from. This is one of those things where, Thomas, you set the example. Now your son is doing exactly what you did. He's a little con artist. Ta-da. Like father, like son.
You think he's taken... Oh, for sure. Douglas has learned at a very young age. I cry wolf, everybody stops what they're doing and pays attention to me. He knows that hope is wrapped around his little finger. That's his mommy. Thanks, Thomas. Okay? Douglas knows that Thomas has lied and done things wrong, but if you ever heard Thomas, he always would say, if something happens, Hope, a.k.a. your mommy, would be there for you. Mm-hmm.
He planted that into his head. And the thing is like, you know what Douglas has said, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want anybody to be mad at me. But the fact that he saw that Hope and Thomas are going to work together, he feels as though, okay, phase 1 of my plan is working. Phase 2 is going to try to be mommy and daddy live together, and we can be a happy family because that's what daddy taught me to do and think.
Parent trapping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only problem is I'm worried that Douglas is going to hurt somebody. Y'all watched The Good Son. I know all of y'all did.
Oh, you remember the evil little kid on Y&R that tripped Abby and
miscarried
and the infertility?
Next.
That vibe. I would kind of enjoy it if Douglas was evil. That might be a lot of fun.
But he's got his dad's number, though.
He does. But also, what I like about Douglas is the way they're writing him is he does not suffer any fools because Liam has tried to manipulate Douglas. Like, he basically was trying to talk Douglas into saying something to Hope about Thomas, but what it was basically he was just using Liam to drive him up to Forrester Creations, and then he didn't do what Liam wanted. That's been 6 or 8 months ago, and it was funny as hell because Liam was trying to manipulate him the same way Thomas tries to manipulate him, and Douglas is not having any of it.
But at the same time, see, with Liam, I will say this, and we got to remember, out of all these people, Liam and Thomas are blood relatives of Douglas. I think some people keep forgetting Liam is not only the stepfather, but he's also Douglas's cousin. You know, I think with Liam is he's now at wit's end. Like he said to Douglas, we love you, and we're always going to be here for when you need us. I think Liam understands that from Douglas's point of view, it's very confusing because Liam's confused. Liam is confused as to why, just like the rest of us, why does Thomas keep doing these things? Like, if you're going to try to make a point of being a changed man, why do you keep doing these things like calling the Child Protective Service and pretending to be Brooke? why are you still obsessing over certain things? And then you got Liam with Hope. It's like Liam said, Thomas can throw somebody over the bridge, and everybody will be like, oh, Thomas. Like, oh, Thomas. Like, you need a hug? Instead of him facing consequences. Liam also is sick and tired of, like, he's worried about his wife, emotional and psychological being around Thomas. And I understand that. I totally understand that. But with Douglas, I think the problem is that everybody is trying to figure out how to make sure Douglas understands right and wrong. And I think Douglas does, but he's seen, just like I always say, Thomas, Hope, and Steffi had a front row to Brooke, Taylor, and Ridge and all their stuff. What they thought was the right sometimes was the wrong. But I'm really interested in this part now because, okay, Hope decided to take Thomas back at work. I don't think she should have done it. But I'm trying to find some logic into this, and the only thing is because she doesn't want her company to go under because that's hers. But at the same time, this is also Hope because Hope tries to see the good in people. It's a curse and a blessing, I should know, to try to see the good when somebody has screwed you over repeatedly. I don't know.
I don't know. Liam looks like a deer in headlights when she told him the truth.
Because she said one thing and she did another.
Well, and he was basically today telling Wyatt that, he's glad that Hope saw the right thing and so he didn't have to lay down the law with her. It's like, I am really interested in seeing Liam try to man up and tell his wife what she has to do because I don't think he has the stones to do that. I think he's all bluster, He is not Bill Spencer.
Yeah, he has no cojones at all.
None. He is waffle boy, tree hugging, vegan wimp. So this should be interesting. I mean, honestly, I would not be upset if Liam and Hope broke up. I would be upset if Liam and Hope broke up and they restarted the Steffi, Hope, Liam love triangle. But I would not be upset if she was like, you know what, at least Thomas is a man. A lying, scheming one, but,
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. If certain things didn't happen in the recent years with Thomas and Hope, I would have been back on the Thomas and Hope train. However, it's been too much damage and trust, like the betrayal and all that. To me, I don't want Hope to be another Katie. And I love Katie. Don't get it twisted. But I'm just like, you're really using a child to kind of be the Band-Aid for a lot of things that has gone down with Thomas and Hope. Because, again, you got to remember how this all played out. Hope lost a baby, right? Anybody who's had a miscarriage or whatnot knows how your hormones are. And the fact that Thomas was like, by the way, hey, Bo, I need y'all to do me a favor. I need to see Caroline's will. Because that is the ultimate right there.
That thing?
Huh?
Remember, Thomas, didn't he, fake a letter or something supposedly from her saying
That's what we're looking at.
See, that's the thing. That's how all that started, is that he said, because when he came to town with his, the first hint of obsession, he said to Hope, "Oh, Caroline wanted you to be the secondary mother. It was in her will. She wrote a letter." And I think all of us was doing the same thing. What were they close? Like, I mean, they were close, but I didn't think anything of it. But I need to see an autopsy. Because I have some suspicions. I always said something wasn't right with this.
That aneurysm that she just dropped dead.
Right. I'm like, I need to investigate this. And see, and let me just clarify this. I like Thomas, right? I like the fact that he is sort of like his grandmama of Stephanie Forrester, okay? But at some chill point, and you notice I said chill point, my thing is okay, your own family kind of turned against you, Thomas. You know what I would have done, Thomas? You are talented enough to do it. You got some money. You got some connections. Start your own design group. Go up against Forrester. Go up against your own sister. Go up against Hope. Like, come on now. Because if you keep going backwards, you're screwing yourself. You're living screwing yourself. See, I feel like I need to be on the show. Like, this is the advice Taylor should be giving him. Like, baby, just go. Do your own company. Right. You did one before.
And another thing, while we're on the subject of letters, do you mean to tell me that there are no other designers that can overtake Thomas? I have a hunch he did something. He paid somebody off so Grandpa and Zende would look not so good or something. I think he had something to do with that.
I'm wondering if when RJ comes back, it's like he's been at design school or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's back in, April 21st?
And he starts filming, I think he films he starts filming next week.
Yeah, and the actor's 23, the same age as Anthony Turpel, the last actor, and he's supposedly been off at school, and I think the character is supposed to be like 19, 21, old enough to have graduated. He might be a fresh graduate and come in and just blow Thomas away, which would be interesting.
Yeah, we do want Thomas back on the show. I mean, RJ.
Mhm.
That would be amazing to see the dynamic. And we know Torsten is coming back too.
He's back on air on Wednesday. He's been filming.
He is back.
Yeah. His next air date is Wednesday, March 15th. Yep.
Mhm. Which is Cliffhanger Wednesday because it's only on Young and the Restless and Bold are only on 3 days this week. Well, now 2 days because Thursday and Friday is March Madness. So that means Bold and Beautiful, you know your tradition on Wednesday. You know all eyes are going to be on you on Wednesday. Thank you.
Yeah, and he's gonna walk back in the door, I think, like the last 10 seconds of the show.
Yeah.
I kind of want him to be with. I kind of want him to have somebody with him.
I think he's going to have RJ with him.
Well, no, RJ comes back in April.
Yeah, there's a full month. It'd be fun if he came back with what's Felony Flo's mother's name, Denise Richards' character.
That's who I actually.
Shauna, yes.
That's who I call.
That would be kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I don't want him to come back.
Yeah, because I don't want him to come back and we go back to square one with Brooke and Taylor. Like, I like the dynamics we got, but I just don't want to go back to that place right now. I'm enjoying my friendship.
I'd be happy if he came back with Shauna or Quinn, either one.
I do not want to have any friendship between Brooke and Taylor. I am so sorry, but I just find it a little bit too awkward for me still, honestly. And if when Thorsten K does come back as Ridge, I will want him with Brooke. And then have Taylor give Taylor another love interest, and that's that. Just move them on and just do something new. But that's just me.
Well, you're entitled to that, Nathan.
Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. This is what the reason I'm okay with this is because, and I've said this for a long time, the problem is that Bold and Beautiful got comfortable with the triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, I mean, here's the thing. Brooke has had other options, like Eric, Deacon, Thorne, Bill, you know. Taylor, even though she had options, she never had another great love of her life. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we're going to do this, let me just say this. I like Ridge and Brooke, but I also don't like Brooke and Ridge. I like Ridge and Taylor, but I also don't like Ridge. Like, I'm one of those fans who can see the good, but I can also see the, child, like, I don't even know why. The thing is that when you ask somebody who is Brooke's other great love of her life, the majority will say Nick. But with Taylor, you can't say that. You really can't say. And the thing is that, keep in mind, she couldn't wait till Stephanie was 6 feet under before she bet she was starting to try to sleep in the same room as Eric. You know, her and Nick, her and Rick. You see what I'm saying? It's like there hasn't been another great love for Taylor. And the fact is for me, the one thing that I had an issue with is that when Ridge was done with one on Monday, he would come knocking on a Tuesday at somebody else's door. Once he was done on Tuesday, he would come back over on a Wednesday. And the thing is that both women allowed it. But for me, it was like, okay, Ridge kept playing, and it was like, at what point do one of these ladies say, you know what, not today? And that's what I was okay with. Now, are they playing the friendship too much? Yeah, but hindsight, could they have been friends like this?
Yeah.
If Ridge was not even in, like, I look at this as, okay, like the Stephanie and Brooke. It was weird that they kind of became acquaintances, that they were cool for a while, right? Okay.
Right, yeah.
I look at it like, I wouldn't say Jackie because, well, actually I need Jackie back. If we can get Leslie Ann Dow back on Bold, that would be great. But no, I mean, it's going to be awkward because we were so used to them fighting over Ridge, right? But now they're two grown women who is kind of valuing their self-worth, but they still got some issues because of their children. And I'm fine with that. But when Rich comes back, I mean, clearly, look, we all know, one of them is going to probably be like, trying to sniff around, while the other one is like, we made a promise that Rich would not be coming in between us. I just want to enjoy it before we get to fighting over Ridge again.
No, that's fair. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, the only other option is they just go full sister wives, since they're really good friends now. I don't see that happening.
I do want to see how RJ plays a factor in this, though.
Yeah, he's going to have.
Yeah, the timing of his return, like I wonder if Ridge was with him.
Because I want to know what his dynamic is with you know, obviously he's Hope's half brother. He's Thomas and Stephanie's, you know, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see how RJ's dynamics are with his sisters and with Liam and Finn and especially Thomas. Like, I really do want to see what happens with that. And also, I'm going to be honest, I have a feeling, I'm going to put it out there in the world, I have a feeling they're gonna come test RJ in Paris.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, just based on the ages.
Ah, I see.
Mhm. Because they're not giving Dylan DeMette a lot of airtime already, so I wouldn't be surprised. And she seems kind of lackluster about him anyway. Like she's just been, there's not a big romance there right now.
Yeah, I feel as though they kind of dropped the ball with that because I think they were trying to figure out what to do with the character of Paris. Yeah, and Zendaya and shout out to Diamond White for Dino Girl on Marvel, Disney Plus. Hey girl, I love that show. I'm sorry, I'm a big kid, but no, like I do want to see where, like that's why I said RJ is going to play in my opinion probably a big part in a lot of the stuff with Brooke Taylor-Ridge and then Hope, Steffi, Thomas, So we'll see.
We'll see. And on the other front, we got Dollar Bill and Sheila.
Yeah,
that's
so
still
what
going on.
Bill said to Liam this last week, I think he said that there's a reason I got her out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel like that he wants her crushed, but I think he thinks like where she was crushing her, she was so low that that's not going to be impactful enough. So I think he's lifting her up to just throw her down hard.
Mhm.
That's what I think. And I think he's also, because she talked the other day about how much he's opening up to her, and this coming week he's supposed to like open up to her about like crimes he's committed. So I feel like he's luring her to confessions so he can like record her confessions of other crimes. And that's just where I feel like it's going. Because he's not an open up kind of guy,
I see that. I think he does have a plan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think he does have a plan, which makes me feel a little better because I thought he was just, if he's playing her, then I feel that's a little more normal for him, but he's got to make the others feel that he's being played. So maybe that's
because otherwise Sheila would sniff it out.
Yeah. And she did say, as long as she's good to me, I'll be good to her.
Well, because there's no way that Sheila can be good for very long, so he knew inevitably.
Right, and she'll slip up and make a mistake.
And so at this point, like when he's looking down and he's being very lackluster, I feel like he's intentionally being so vanilla that he knows that she'll go do something. Like he's luring her into a trap by being like meek and pliant, like so she thinks he's pee-whipped and he's not. And I think he's doing this. My theory is his underlying rationale for all of this is Steffi. Because he's got that deep, inappropriate affection for Steffi, and she shot Steffi. And I think that's what it's all about. I think he wants to crush Sheila and throw her at Steffi's feet as a gesture, even though he can't have Steffi, although I would love to see him with Steffi instead of, boring Finn. That's my 2 cents.
I mean, here's the thing. I've always said that Bill is up to something. Even at first, I was like, maybe Sheila has something on Bill, like the reveal of who really shot him, because they played that beat a lot. But then I was like, something's not right with Bill because this isn't Bill Spencer. Look, we all see him when he doesn't have a woman, okay? that means he's more ruthless than at anything. There's been times where I think he wanted to tell, like especially Katie, because there was that scene where it was like when Katie said, "I will take Will away from you." It's like, dang, Bill, like how far are you going with this? My thing is, I do think he has a plan. He has a plan, and you're right. This revolves around Steffi. I'm going to be honest with you. The twist for me would be if him and Deacon are working together to bring Sheila down.
Oh, that would be dry.
Because the fact that, you know, like, you know, Deacon and Sheila, they have something. I don't know what to call it, but it's something interesting. And I think Deacon, you know, look, does Sheila really like Deacon? I think so, because she likes the attention. But she knows that Bill Spencer is just like Eric Forster. He is well known. And not only that, but in some weird way, she's still connected to Steffi through Bill because, well, you know, Liam's, it's a whole obsession thing, okay? But to me, I'm like, now, does Deacon really care about Sheila? Yes, he does. Darn it, he does. I mean, he hasn't had a woman since he's been out of jail, except for Sheila, so there you go. But anyway, I feel as though he also knows what's at stake because, like Sheila said, how would Hope and them feel when he did all that stuff while he was still on probation, hiding a fugitive and all that stuff? So I think that Bill and Deacon are working in cahoots to bring Sheila down. It's just Sheila doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It's sort of like Sheila thinks she's like on top of the world. She's like freaking Jack on Titanic. Woo! But I know she's going to go down.
You know, it would be interesting
to go down.
About the point you just made about them working together. So everybody's wondering, how did Deacon go from closet sleeping bartender to owning Il Giardino? Maybe that's what Bill gave him in exchange for this.
Makes good
or
sense
was
to
it
me.
Sheila's money? What about if it was Sheila's money?
It wasn't.
Didn't
She was offering him things, and he was like, no, because he was really worried about being busted for being entangled with her while she was on the lam. He said he went like overseas and got investors, so maybe he and Bill left town and had him. It'd be interesting to look back and see if Bill had left town during the time that Deacon had left town.
Or just wired him money, just told him like, look, I'll give you some money in like an offshore bank account. Just pretend, you know, like to have, like, you know, to make sure that all their ducks are lined up in a row.
Right, because she was a threat to Hope and to everybody.
Anybody.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I could see
dangerous.
them as dads who share family cooking this up. Yeah.
I swear, Bold and Beautiful, if we get any of this right, you can Venmo us all.
Yep.
I will be watching my account. I'm like Bill and Deacon. I'm watching my account. Because that's the only logic explanation is that Sheila really thinks that she's getting away with all of this. And we got, you know, Bill acting like, oh, yes, Sheila, whatever you say, Sheila, I'm at your command. You got Katie and them all kind of freaking out, wondering what's going on here. Do I think, now here's the thing, do I think somebody's going to get, like, hurt or something? Heck, yeah, this is Sheila Carter we're talking about. But I feel as though that's the ultimate is that, you know, she feels as though, because she's getting comfortable. She's getting too comfortable right now. And that's her weak spot, is when she gets really comfortable, just like Phyllis, she messes up. She flips, she drops her guard down. Because think about it, she did that with Deacon. She dropped her guard because her and Deacon finally gave in. Well, she did. Deacon probably played it, but, you know, he wanted some too. So, you know.
Well, another reason that I think that's plausible is because Deacon's all, like, smitten with her now, but before he was not. He was proposing to Brooke. And then all of a sudden he turned on a dime, and it's like, oh, Sheila, I have to have you. And it's like, okay, what's motivation? Because he just wanted her because Bill wanted her, or is it because this is part of a greater scheme? I like that. I like that a lot.
Mhm.
Can we do General Hospital next?
Yes,
Please.
we can.
Yes, let's do that.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
Candace, we have.
Let me take
do we have?
My
two
very
people coming on.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. We got, so, okay. Real quick, I think we knew that Jane Elliott, we knew that Jane Elliott was coming on, which is going to be the 17th of April. But General Hospital, you kind of spoiled this last week because, again, me included and the FBI soap Twitter, we looked at the credits. And if you guys look at Thursday's credits, it said Emma Sands as Holly. And we're like, Holly wasn't on. But, yeah, Emma Sands is coming back as Holly. Okay. I think we all know which direction this. I don't know for sure, but I think we're going to revisit this Ice Princess storyline.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Same here.
Oh, okay. Let me just say this for the people in the back. Yes, the stories from last year are going to get played this year. Okay? This whole Austin thing, this Mason thing, the fact that Nicholas is being kidnapped, they got Tracy coming back, we got Holly coming back, we got a lot going on that's connected to the Ice Princess, maybe. I'm going to tell you something. GH, you got one person, well, actually three people you need to bring on to really do the storyline. I'm going to drop one person because I know they're going to be busy with a tour. But this needs to be your saving grace right now. That and also Ivana Brown, who's a comedian, she is going to be a part of the Sonia Eddy tribute, which is going to be March 31st. And that was one of Sonia's close friends. So to kind of pay tribute to Sonia, GH, invited her friends to come on. So that should be a really good episode.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm not excited to see it. I don't want to say the word excited. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm sad that she's gone. So I don't want to say I'm excited to see it, but I'm glad that that she's getting a tribute like that because I just loved her.
She was just amazing. We interviewed her.
Yes, she was.
We interviewed her a couple years back. And she sent us the nicest letter to all of us at Take Two when we did it. She says how nice that everyone was so interested in my life and what I do. And she never sees that a lot.
Yeah. We always talked about her and Billy D. Williams, that crush that she had in real life for Billy D. Williams. I always bust on her about it. I'm like, Billy D. Williams on TV, Sonya. Like, she was like, girl, let me know what channel. Lifetime.
Well, that's a solid crush to have. You know. All right, so General Hospital, my plot point of the week that has me laughing and happy is that they have broken Victor Cassidyne's penis, which I think is freaking hilarious. That is like my favorite thing. Soap Dirt, we did a tweet about it the other day with an old Jedi with a limp saber, and because it seemed like they dropped that line about where Holly gave the drug to Selena Wu and she slipped it to Victor, and then it's been like a couple of months, and then now we find out
we know.
It hasn't been working for a couple. So and then he's getting his little ED, and so what I'm interested in is since they're calling in, as of today, they're calling in Finn to look at his blood work results, but I'm wondering if Finn is going to get talked into participating in the plot and giving him some sort of placebo or something, you know, rather than actually helping him.
Oh, that was...
Also,
I'm sorry,
that
that's me, Laura.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm also really, a new character who's growing on me a whole lot is Dex. I like him. General Hospital has, you know, too big of a cast, so I always get, like, the heebie-jeebies when they bring somebody on. Like, I'm not particularly enjoying Cody that much. The actor, he's really cute and everything, but his character, I feel like, I'm not enjoying. But Dex, thoroughly enjoying the scenes with him and Sonny, with cooking the food, has me thinking all kinds of things about these two guys together, you know, and how much I want him to be loyal to Sonny instead of douchey Michael. So what do you guys think about that?
I don't mind. I don't mind Dex that much. You know, I like him with Jocelyn. I feel they have great chemistry together. And you know, I like to see more with Dex being developed still, because we know that he's, you know, working not just with, you know, he's not working for Sonny, but at the same time he's undercover with working with Michael. So, you know, I am interested to see how that happens, but at the same time, I do wish they could at least kind of pick it up a little more when it comes to that reveal of Dex working with Michael, because Sonny will find out at some point, or maybe he does know due to Brick, who will make his return in General Hospital tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. But I think that for now, I like Dex. I like him with Jocelyn, but I like to see him develop a little bit more. So that's what I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm still wondering if he is someone's son, like if he has a family tie in Port Charles, because General Hospital seems to be on a kick of secret kids right now, you know?
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of wide open. That seems to be like their thing at the moment. So I would totally not be surprised if he is Sonny's kid, if he is, you know, somebody's kid. So
I was thinking he'd be AJ's.
Who?
AJ's. That was AJ Quartermain's kid.
Who's that?
Yes.
Who's that AJ Quartermain? I never heard of him before. Who's he?
Are you joking?
Jason's brother.
No, I'm not.
Is that the guy? Is that the guy that they shot? That Sonny shot, and nobody talks about him anymore, including his own son. That's him. So that guy, that waste of time. Okay, him. Yeah. I'm being sarcastic because you know that's how they, you know.
They don't talk about him.
No. Okay. For some strange reason, I've been thinking about this a lot. Y'all know how I've been talking about GH. Let the character breathe for a little bit. Don't rush. You know, this isn't like back in the day where you introduce a character and then like, well, no, actually, no. GH, you need to get back to that. Let the character breathe, and then, like, give me 6 months down the road before we find out they're connected to a character, or year, maybe, or something like that. Half of me truly believes, half of me believes this kid is related to somebody, and I'm like, okay, this ain't Brenda's kid. There ain't no way GH wouldn't do that to my heart. And I was like, AJ's kid, because I'm going to be honest right now, the kid that AJ has on screen, I don't even know him. And plus, I know they're not going to try to rebuild any more Quartermains. You know what I'm saying? So by deduction, I was like, yeah, they're going to make this character connect to somebody. And the only person I can think of that has issues with Sonny is Alcazar.
I love the
Alcazar.
No, I didn't think about that.
Now, yes, they have a daughter. Alcazar has a daughter, Lila Ray. Look, GH, we'll talk the end of the year, okay? Thank you. But I'm like, all right, it has to be somebody within the mob life, right? But then I was like, this is GH. They ain't going to do that. I'm like, they ain't going to do this. So I'm like, okay, is it possible that Frank Smith has a grandson out there?
Yeah.
But But why would Frank Smith come after? But then again, hey, look, I don't know. I don't write the show. They're gonna make this kid somebody connected. They're gonna do it, but I did get the Sonny connection. Like, okay, I don't know about you guys, but when they were, shooting, bop, 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 did anybody get a deja vu of him and Dante?
Yes, I did.
Yes,
For sure.
I did a little.
For sure.
And I was like, okay, GH, are you trying to slip that in? Like, is this Sonny's kid? Does Sonny need another kid? I mean, did you understand the mistake you made when you killed off Morgan? And then we got Dex being the kid? I mean, come on now. I'm just asking for a friend. But
if General Hospital was going to go bat crap crazy, how about this? If we were just going to go crazy, maybe Dex is Morgan. He's gone up.
No, that's not.
No, too young. Too young. And plus, it would be the ick factor. It would be the ick factor because Dex is pretty much doing his sister.
Right. That's true because he'd be banging his sister. Yeah, I don't think GH would.
Yeah.
I wasn't even doing the deep family ties. I just would like Morgan back. But I
think we all do because
such a sweet kid.
Look, right now, if we were writing the show, in all honesty, I would have it where Morgan and Christina teams up against Joss and Michael. That's just me. But I'm exiting stage left.
So, all right. On the topic of General Hospital and Nicholas, can we speculate for a second? Who do we think Mason is working for that has Nicholas now? It's a woman.
Well, could it?
And that's all we know.
I have two thoughts, but they're both right out there. Helena, maybe, or Tracy.
I'll go with your first one if they're going to, because everything. See, okay. I feel as though they're going to bring Helena back because, well, I'm going to be honest. If you're going to do the Ice Princess storyline, you got to have Helena.
Yeah.
If it was Tracy, I can't see Tracy doing that. Because I just can't see Tracy doing it.
What about Olivia Jerome?
From behind bars? Is she supposed to be at Darkham?
She's supposed to be in Pentonville, and she's supposed to be in Pentonville, I think. But Cyrus does all kind of stuff from behind bars.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the bars are a barrier.
I'm going to say we got to remember that Austin is tied into this. So that's why I said I can't say Tracy because Mason is supposedly Austin's cousin, allegedly. I need to see some DNA results too. So I don't think Tracy would get her hand. I don't see Tracy being a part of kidnapping or somebody holding Nicholas hostage, considering the lore factor and Lulu.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it may be Helena because, look, Helena has no chill factor when it comes to her family. For some, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, and speaking of family, I suspect Olivia Jerome because Mason's now targeting Ava. And that's her sister. And she's gotten out of the life, and she may hold her accountable for Julian's death. Yeah. So, I mean, Julian, I think, is dead, maybe, probably, but, dead's not always dead, might just be soap dead. But it's just, targeting Ava feels funny if it's not somebody who's got, like, a direct tie to her. But it could be just about Nicholas, like you said, if it is Helena.
Because I feel as though that's like, I mean, I see what GH did with that. Well played, GH. I see what you did there. But I'm looking at it that Austin is tied into Mason, or Mason's tied into Austin. So my thing is, could just be ransom for ELQ. Because if we're going to get, because I feel as though we're about to go back to that story too, with the whole ELQ and Austin and that whole thing. So I don't know. I would say I'm interested, but I'm to be honest with you, I'm really not. Because I'm preparing myself. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
Cassandra Pierce? I know Nicholas had some.
I thought Cassandra died.
Yeah, Cassandra died.
She's dead. She got a helpful of the drugs that she was giving out. So she OD'd, I thought. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's just with Nicholas there, it's throwing me off. So.
Well, you know what that's about. You know what that was for. They rewrote. I'm going to say this. For me, I'm going to say this. I feel as though GH did a complete 360 with two of the storylines because of what happened with, Marcus, with his contract and everything. I feel as though, first and foremost, something was supposed to happen to Victor, like, who killed Victor, or Victor may have gone in a coma or something like that. Mm-hmm. Instead of this Viagra. Okay, GH. All right, Viagra. Really? You're gonna? Oh, okay. We're doing this. We're really doing. Okay.
Maybe they're doing another drug sponsorship.
Can I just say real quick, getting back on that? Can I tell you how disappointed I was with that? I was like, really? I said, GH. Now I know y'all. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go because I'm so disappointed in all the other stuff that you kind of pulled. That this was the least of my concerns, but. I think with the Nicholas thing, because we knew, certain things, this is the time where they're holding the character on the shelf until they figure out what direction they're going to take this Nicholas, or who's going to play the next Nicholas, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're kind of like, okay, we're going to take Nicholas out, but we're going to make him quote unquote a plot point, maybe ? Until we figure things out.
They can always bring it back. They can recast them. They can bring back Tyler or whatever, yada, yada,
Because the reality thing is, and I think everybody said it on Twitter. Yeah, I think everybody said this on social media. All right, hindsight. This is the second child of Loris that's in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
Lulu's in a coma. Yeah, Lulu's in a coma. Nicholas.
If she gets the third one, does she get like a free car wash or something?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Does she get like free health insurance? Because Lucky is somewhere in Abu Dhabi. I don't know where he is.
I thought he was in like Ireland or something.
Ireland.
That's why I said Abu Dhabi. Yeah, that's why I said Abu Dhabi. Because, like, in all honesty, I'm like, and see, okay, I'm going to be honest, GH, I need for y'all to bring back Lucky Spencer, even if it's for the story arc of the Ice Princess. Whether you get Jonathan Jackson, who's currently going to be on the Nashville tour, or, and I'm just going to say it, Jacob Young. Because clearly Greg Vaughn is busy at the moment. He's doing something over a Days of Our Lives right now. But you need, if you're going to do this, I need for Helena, I need for Lucky, and I'm sorry, folks, you may not want to hear this, but we all know Luke Spencer ain't dead.
No,
of course not. He's not dead at all.
Yeah, you better show me, just like y'all did with Holly. I want to see a computer, and I want to see Luke Spencer's face. You don't have to bring Tony Geary back, but just have it where we, the audience. Yeah, because to me, that's the only saving. That's the story. Is that Helena got Luke Spencer under control with the Ice Princess?
Well, I just want them to move it along because right now all we have is Victor Cassadine just lurking and being low-key sinister but kind of vague. Like, there's no plot at hand. Like, he, the deputy mayor, and it's just like he's just up to generic no good. I don't know. And I don't know.
Yeah, they have to pick up the pace on that.
Yet, or they, huh?
they have to pick up the pace on that storyline the part of that storyline.
Right. I feel like, I don't know if they haven't written it yet and they're trying to figure it out. They're back there throwing darts at the plot board, or, you know, they just, it's one of those, anytime I hear any writer at General Hospital say umbrella story, I get a rash.
Yeah.
Because that means it's just going to be crap, overarching crap. And so I fear that that's where we're heading with this vague Victor stuff, you know. I don't know. But, I mean, it might be if they would move along with it, because there's been some plots where all of Port Charles was threatened that were interesting, like when, what's-his-face polluted the water supply.
Yeah.
Sebastian Roche.
That was good. Jerry
Jack. Yeah, and anytime they have an illness, everybody gets it. That was great. So something that scares the shit out of everybody in Port Charles, that'd be fine with me. But right now, Victor's just like low-key, barely evil and too focused on his lack of erection. And so I'm probably as frustrated as he is.
I'm frustrated because I agree. I feel as though, okay, if you don't, because, okay, General Hospital, you really don't have a big baddie on your show. And the fact that you just brought up Jerry Jack, we had such good things back in the day. I don't know where we went wrong.
Him, Helena, they need a
we
big
had Faith. We had Faith Roscoe. We had freaking Faith Roscoe, Claudia, we had Johnny.
Claudia Zaccara.
We had it all. But I
they
feel
were
as
over
though,
the top.
right, it's like you got Victor Cassadine, and, okay, if you're a fan of General Hospital who knows Victor Cassadine's characteristics and all that, you compare that Victor to today's Victor, it's a joke. And I like Charles. Don't get it twisted. I love Charles, Tennessee. I do. But I feel as though the writing for Victor Cassadine is very cartoonish. Like he's sort of that guy that when you open the door, it's like, hey, guys, here I am. Next scene, hey, guys, here I am. It's like you have him. That's why I kind of was wondering if they were going to do a murder thing with him or who poisoned Victor Cassadine. Find out on General Hospital, ABC Weekdays and stuff like that. That's where I thought we were going at because he literally was in every freaking story. Every time you turn around, there he was. And I'm like, what are you guys doing with him? He's supposed to be the third baddie of the Cassadine era, bloodline. And you have him, it's frustrating.
They also, I mean, think about it. Remember, Helena was terrified of Valentine. He was the worst Cassadine.
I do remember.
He was the most terrifying Cassadine, and it's like he is Anna Devane's lapdog. And they've done nothing.
Yeah. Right. And I'm looking like, I know some people saying about Nicholas, right? Okay, here's the truth. Nicholas is the Dark Prince with the golden heart. The fact that he slept with his son's girlfriend, okay, yes, GH, I see what you tried to do. You tried to do a parallel of Spencer and Nicholas with Stephon Cassadine and Nicholas with Catherine Bell. I see what you did there, but it didn't work. You know why it didn't work? Because, I'm going to be honest, better writing. And not only that, but we was actually, because Nicholas would not have done that to Spencer because we remember what he said. It's like you don't have a clear direction of what these characters are supposed to do right now. And it's kind of frustrating because I see you're trying. You're trying in certain parts. But the Victor Cassadine stuff is falling flat. No pun intended. So that's why I'm thinking the Ice Princess is going to be, because remember around last year, around like last month, they tried to do it. Remember it was all of a sudden cold, and next thing you know, they're all at the pool like, ooh, it's a heat wave. Ooh, what's going on here?
And there's a heat wave.
Right, and Spencer was interested in the Ice Princess, and Laura was like, get that thing away from him. I don't know.
I know it.
Yeah.
I thought it was happening.
Yeah, I feel like they also have kind of too many storylines going on right now, I think.
Well,
so we're not.
They kind of wrap some stuff up too.
Yeah, well, I think, too many storylines because they have that big cast allows them to kind of meander around, and then there's pointless stuff like Gladys gambling, and it's like, okay, let's get back to the Ice Princess. Let's get back to the stuff I want to see instead of, I don't know. So we have time to talk about days.
Yes.
Or are we still? Do we have more to cover on General Hospital?
Well, real quick, I do want to address that.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, let me ask this real quick question. Portia, Taggart, Curtis, Trina. Okay, let me just say this right now. Portia needs to face some consequences. I don't understand some things because I feel as though GH, this is I got a couple of things. I got a rant. Now, see, I just thought about this. GH, your problem is you don't have people face some consequences, long-term consequences, or just consequences. You're just having everybody with kids' gloves right now. I appreciate what Taggart said, is that no matter what the DNA test says, you're always going to be my little girl. He's still hurt, though, but he's trying to be really adult about certain things in front of Trina. Trina is very confused. She is. And that's why she's like, well, I'm not doing this. I'm not, I applaud her because, again, just because a DNA will say doesn't, it goes with that logic. It's not always blood that raises you and that's your family. You can have family with anybody, point blank, period. But the fact that your mom lied to you all this time, and then you got Jordan. And Jordan, I'm a little surprised at you. Because, okay, you kind of was like, I don't know, but now it's like, okay, well, everybody should be mad at Portia. Like, why? But I will say, GH, you did play the beats. I mean, I know there's certain things that you didn't do, which I kind of expected because I looked at another storyline that kind of was identical, and you didn't do it. And I'm talking about the whole Willow, Nina, Carly thing because I'm a little upset. I'm more upset about that than anything. Mm-hmm. But I feel as though, like, GH, you do, like what you just said, right, about it has too many storylines. And I feel as though what I've noticed is, okay, they start certain storylines out, right? Then they drop them, right? They drop them for a good 3 to 6 months. But there's other storylines that they try to finish out, to flesh out, right? And they end it. Right. And then they go back to the storyline that almost a year ago they was doing, and they're trying to do it now because they had enough time to really get the beginning, middle, and hopefully the end right. Because, like I said, if you're going to do the Ice Princess, we started that last year. If we're doing the Austin stuff, that was last year too. Are we ever going to get chased back on the police force? I don't know.
I guess.
We overcame Elizabeth's parents.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to count how many plots are happening right now on General Hospital.
Okay.
Probably 40.
I'm going to help you, okay?
All right.
We got Willow. That's one. Willow being sick. No, wait a minute. We got a couple with Willow. Willow being sick. Nina and that whole thing with Willow. The fallout. I'll call it the fallout from the paternity. Okay.
And then we got Nina thinking about calling the SEC on insider trading on Drew and Carly.
Right, on Drew and Carly. Yeah. Then we got Carly and Drew's relationship.
Yeah.
Carly versus Nina all day long. Just point blank. Just put that in a nice little blender. Okay. Then you got Dr. Obrecht's revenge.
Right.
Type. Okay. Then we got the whole Joss, Dex, Michael against Sonny.
Okay.
We got Dex's undercover life.
Right.
That makes sense, right? Okay. So that goes. Okay. All right. Oh, Michael and Willow's wedding.
Right? Got that. Okay, I'm
oh,
counting.
and them also being, the baby, so I guess the baby does count. Okay. So then, all right, so then you have, Trina's paternity, that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Trina and Spencer's relationship time. Spencer dealing with the abandonment of his father while trying to get custody of the baby.
And then we got Esme and the baby.
Esme, right, amnesia Esme, and her fallout of everything. Okay, that goes, Esme, Ryan, Ryan, Heather, continue on. Okay, then we got Austin and Mason. Okay. Then we have, let me see what else is going on. We
got Nicholas and Elizabeth stuff. Residual.
Oh, yeah, the Elizabeth stuff, right? Yeah, that she, knew about all of this too. Okay. Then we got Vic. By the way, we got Cameron going to Sanford. My baby going to Sanford.
Cameron's going to Sanford.
Going to Sanford. Okay, so that takes care of the young people. Okay. Then we got Molly. Molly wants to be a mommy now.
Okay.
Yeah. That whole thing going on. Then you got Alexis being the news editor, cracking down on the big stories of the day with Gregory, a.k.a. Jimmy Olsen.
And then we got Gregory being terminally ill with some mystery thing.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Terminal?
Yeah. I think we're about to say goodbye to him. Raise your drinks. Okay.
And
he should have been Jeff Weber from Jump.
Speaking of older people, we got Marshall and his mental illness that's not schizophrenia.
Nope.
He's got something going on. And then, let's see.
Then we got the whole Curtis Portia, which is kind of the fallout of Trina, but it's also the deception of it all.
Then we've got Ava and Austin being blackmailed and probably getting in a relationship soon.
Right. Then we got Sasha's money being taken. Well, that whole thing.
By Gladys.
Then we got Then we got Mrs. Wu and her problems.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Then we've got Victor's
Victor and his self-function. Yup. Right. Then we got Dante and Sam. Okay, wait a minute. Is that wait? Oh, Anna, Valentine, and Lucy.
Oh, yep, and the deputy mayor and all that. And then let's just count the Ice Princess. I'm gonna count the Ice Princess.
We're kind of like putting the Ice Princess. Yeah, question mark on that. The nurses' ball because Maxine's now being in charge of it.
Right.
But Lucy will make her appearance.
Oh yeah, she's gonna make her appearance when she's half naked and everybody thinks she's dead. Wait a minute.
And then we got Chase trying to save the girl.
Right. And then Christina's somewhere. I don't know what's going on with Christina.
Christina. Let's see. So we got Alexis, and then I'm trying to think if there's anything else left.
That's what I'm trying to think too. Wait a minute. Olivia. What's going on with Olivia? Nothing. Okay. Nothing with Ned. No.
Oh, Cody and Mac.
Cody.
We've got
Cody
and Mac. And then Dante has a secret that only Cody knows, so that's another one.
Yep, probably a child out there somewhere.
And then we've got Cody and Sasha looking like they're going to get in a romance.
Yeah, which I don't want.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, and the fact that nobody knows that Josh left Britt to die. Yep.
Oh, geez.
Okay. Do you want? I have been sitting here counting this with hashtags. Do y'all want to take a guess?
Wait a minute, because I'm making sure. I got to make sure here that that's everything. Hold on. All right. Okay, Terry doesn't have a storyline. Just making sure here. Brad doesn't. Wait a minute. Something with Brad. No, wait. No. Okay, we're good. So, okay, yeah, we're good with Brad. Felix ain't never on, so, okay. I just want to make sure that we got everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, Lucy, Kevin. Oh, Kevin dealing with the fallout of Ryan.
Right.
Laura being okay, like, with the whole Esme stuff, so we got to put Laura somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. All right. Finn, what's going on with Finn? Nothing. Nothing's going on with Finn right now.
Yeah, nothing. He's going to be attached
stuff.
to his dad being.
Yeah,
he's going to be attached to the
stuff.
story with his dad being.
Yeah, with his dad. Yeah. Stella. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're good. I think I got everybody.
Okay.
I think we got everybody. Right.
Okay.
Wow.
So each of y'all take a guess at what the total is.
15.
Oh God, I'm
15.
15.
15.
No, it's more than 15. Has to be more than 15. So I'm going to say maybe 19.
All right. Grab your butt. It's 37.
Oh, Lord.
I was close.
I just counted every storyline you said, and it's 37. Meanwhile, at Bold, we have 1.5.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, that was a fun exercise.
That hurt my head. That's what it did.
That's a lot.
Well,
It literally hurt my head. Oh, wait. I mean, are we going to also say, we said, we kind of upcame the Ice Princess. So get ready for even 38. We forgot one big one that's about to pop up pretty soon. What happened to Epiphany?
Oh, yeah. And Luke. We can go ahead and throw Luke's thing in there because that's
Luke,
not done.
Luke is going to be a part of that Ice Princess, in my opinion. You see what I'm saying? But with Epiphany, that's a separate, because that's why we're getting a tribute. So we don't know. That's why I said I don't know what they're going to do with Epiphany, if they're going to kill her off, or
I don't. Maybe she will like silently move away with what's his face. Maybe they'll reunite and move to a farm. You know how they say when your dog dies, it moves to a farm. Maybe they'll do something like that.
Well, last we knew that she was what was it? Oh, she was away west.
looking at school because she became a doctor. Yeah, she passed her test.
Yeah, she got.
Well, I hope
wonder
that
how
whatever it is, it's sensitive, because when we move to days, one of the things I want to talk about is John Aniston.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's go there.
Okay.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. I just want to let you guys know I have to take care of some stuff, so I'm going to head out, and I just want to thank you guys for letting me on tonight.
Thanks, Anthony.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm trying to do the math, trying to do the calculus in my head. Maybe y'all can help me. I know that Dave was pre-pandemic was filming like 6 months ahead. So what I want to know is at what the date where John Aniston died versus the episodes we're seeing filmed now. Were any of them post his death? Because they have him completely alive on the show, and I'm wondering, is this an intentional thing, or is it just because he wasn't working that much and he was still alive? You see what I'm saying?
Okay. So So back in December is when we last saw him, right? Okay. So that was taped around June, July of last year.
Yeah.
His final air date was, around December. Okay, February, November he passed away.
Right.
So if we're doing the math, we're about to come up on this.
So it should be like May sweet.
It should be around summertime. Like it might be midsummer, early fall that we go ahead and address what. Okay.
Yeah, he died mid-November, and 6 months would put it in like May.
But they're going dark pretty soon, and so because what's happening now is they're filming the rest of the remaining episodes under their contract that they had, the 1 year, the 1 year contract. There has been some speculation, some news, nothing official, but some people on the inside have said, don't be surprised if we don't hear that Days is going to get a 2-year renewal, okay? But they have to film the rest of their agreed episodes, okay? They will start back up because they are going dark, meaning they're going to be shut down, I think, next month and whatnot. Okay. They made sure to say that Victor was out of town. They slipped that in. So I'm wondering, and I think everybody else is wondering too, are they going to kill the character off, obviously, while he's away from, town or stuff like that?
See, I'm wondering if they're not. If they're not, and they're just going to keep name dropping him because they keep talking about Stefano and this and that, and it's just Days is so weird with people not staying dead, and of course the actors that are dead, they're not coming back,
right.
but they're just so weird that way.
Well, here's the crazy. Like, I had this conversation with some of my friends, and we all feel as though they did Stefano story arc wrong, in our opinions. Rest in peace, Joseph McScala. We miss you. And this one was kind of a blow. There's nobody else who can play Victor Kiriakis the way John Anderson did. Point blank, period.
No.
However, this is one of those times where, and I'm just going to say this, the writing perspective is that this opens a can of worms for a good story arc later this fall. And you're starting to do it right now. I think it would be the best interest, and this is just me, to go ahead and have Victor die off to do this story arc. Because I'm looking at, now, on Bold and Beautiful, OG Sally Spectre is still alive, living her best life with her pool boy, okay? But Darlene Conley has been gone for a very long, for a while, right? Okay. You take a look at Young and the Restless. Catherine died, that was a huge, thing. Like you said with Days of Our Lives, the one thing that they constantly do is, they let the dead rise again, right?
Right.
But I have a feeling they are going to, but I have a feeling they're going to maybe kill the character off because it will give the Kiriakis clan a lot of drama regarding the battle of whatever Victor leaves in his will. And you're starting to kind of see some of it right now with Alex and Maggie. The fact that,
I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying that a lot.
It gives Suzanne something to do.
Right. And also you got to think about this too. Suzanne Rogers, hey Dave, I just want to help you out with this too. I don't know if y'all know or not, but this fall, I don't know if you guys are already going to or not, but Suzanne Rogers will be celebrating 50 years at Days of Our Lives. So I don't know if you're crafting something for her or whatnot. And that's why I said the Victor Kiriakis, stuff will play a part in all that.
That makes sense.
I love her. Oh my God. I'm enjoying Maggie being the CEO.
Yeah.
But I'm really liking the fact that Alex is kind of undermining her. Like, wait a minute, hold up. First and foremost, I was supposed to be CEO, but because of that little article that Leo wrote, that got taken away from me. So please don't act like, okay, you come in and you try to take away my division when I work 10 times hard, and you just sit there behind the desk and try to say, nope, and nope, because Uncle Vic wouldn't want this. I'm loving it.
I also
By the way,
really like, I like, and I hope they're going to go there, that Xander comes to work and he will have her back hard against Alex, and especially since it looks like Alex is about to hop in bed with Gwenny.
With Gwen.
I
am super excited. I'm just super excited because Maggie said today that she would be looking to Xander for loyalty or something like that. He alluded to it, and he's like all there for it. I love their vibe because she just loves him so much despite everything he's done.
Right. Yeah. To her own daughter.
Yeah. Despite that, she just really likes him, you know. And I think they have a lot of love and respect for each other. And I definitely think that he will be her bulldog watching as Alex tries to undermine her. He'll be trying to undermine Alex, which will be great.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm enjoying that storyline a lot.
Yeah, and I do want to see because, again, I feel as though, you're going to have Maggie, Xander, Alex. Might as well say Gwen might be a part of it. But, again, like, if the will is read, I can totally see, like, Brady being a part of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be people that choose his side. Hey, Dave, this could be your Dallas.
Ooh.
You have people taking sides of who should be the permanent CEO, and then all of a sudden, here walks in a tall guy and says, and they'll say, no, Victor wanted this person to be CEO. Pan up, it's Philip Kiriakis. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to write for the show.
Oh.
You definitely.
You don't?
Over there.
All right.
Philip would be great.
Do you want me to write for David?
Yeah.
Because you do need, it would be the best, because again, whatever Victor, can you imagine Victor leaving certain things to certain people? And keep in mind, everybody thinks Philip is dead, right? Because everybody feels late.
But Victor knows he's not. Yeah.
Right. So that's why I can see Justin reading the will, and then all of a sudden, he says, Alex, Victor made sure that in the clause you never become CEO or something like that. Maggie, Victor, knew that you gave your heart and soul to this company, but he knows that you didn't want this. He was like, I'm not giving it to Xander, and I'm not letting Brady or Sierra or anybody else. There was one particular person that I really reached out to, and that is somebody who should be coming soon, like, da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden you see everybody like, oh, my God, and it's Philip Kiriakis. Victor reached out to Philip to do it and everything else like that. But keep in mind, Victor also reached out to another Kiriakis, which is Philip's son that he doesn't know about. Thank you. I'll take my Emmy now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Take your Writers Guild of America award. Because Dave won it again. Won it again.
Yeah, they did.
Good writing.
It is good writing, and I'm going to say this. I don't know what episode. I think I know which episode, but 9 times out of 10, that's probably what they're going to submit for best writing for the daytime Emmys.
Yeah. Funny because Days is the first one I watch in the morning because it's on, starting at 6 a.m. And so I get up, I have my coffee. Days is my breakfast soap. And then, YR and I work down. But I so look forward to having my coffee and watching that show. And I know it can be campy and it's soap trope to the extreme. But at the same time, Ron Carlivati created so many characters on General Hospital that are iconic that I still love. I still feel his touch all over General Hospital. And I know that, he carried that talent over to Days. And I just think he's a phenomenal writer. And I don't think Days gets the credit it deserves. It's the very last soap that I started watching that I was talked into watching progressively when I was just a blogger before I owned Soap Dirt. And it was the one that I held out on last and then I fell in love with so hard, So it's my morning coffee buddy show. And I just think they're doing phenomenal work. And even the stupid, I'm glad the devil stuff is over, but the campy stuff with Megan Hathaway, I am so excited about it. I am excited that she has Bo in the tube, and I'm excited about seeing Steve Burton back as Harris. I'm excited about all of it. So I have drunk all the Kool-Aid and went back for seconds.
Here's the thing. Days of Our Lives is known for doing resets or a refresh. And I'm going to be honest with you. The popularity of Beyond Salem 2, let me say that again for those in the back. Beyond Salem 2 blew everything out the water because something happened that no Days fan ever thought they would ever see again, which is Bo and Hope, right?
Right.
And the fact that they undid the thing about Bo, because look, when Bo died, that hurt. That hurt a lot of people's hearts.
That hurt a lot.
Okay, that hurt.
Yeah.
Even though it was an awful storyline, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Anyway, because I'm be nice. But the fact that you got them on the mothership, because this is technically the second part of Beyond Salem that we're about to see. The fact that you got Megan, and I'm hoping they kept her on long enough that she could have scenes with Kristen DeMera. I need a DeMera family meeting or something. I just need it. But I like the fact that we're going this direction because I know everybody was like not feeling the afterlife, quote unquote, afterlife storyline.
Right.
But to me, I got it. I understood what was happening, and I like it. I'm looking forward to this because Days of Our Lives, like you said, they don't get a lot of credit. And I think the reason is because there was more negativity regarding Days because, look, how many times do we have to hear this? Days of Our Lives might be canceled. Days of Our Lives might be canceled. Days of Our Lives was canceled, but they're uncanceled again. Days of Our Lives was canceled by NBC. They're the lowest show in the ratings. Days of Our Lives is still on the air. Like, like you heard all of that all the time, and they don't, they do have a lot of things that these other shows don't have that they should have. And the one thing Days has that they can really be like, yes, we do, is still have the super couples of the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And to me, another thing that Days always had was adventures. The fact that you're going to do this, I'm going to be honest, I can't wait to see how this plays out. I've seen Ron at his best, and I've seen him at his worst, okay? I'm going to say this because I know everybody says, Candace, you have something towards Ron Carlivati. I don't. Really, I don't. But I'm honest about it. I know how much this is riding on Days fans. I know that some Days fans are wanting the moon, the stars, and the sunshine and lollipops because this is going to be your story. This is going to be your umbrella storyline. And I'm hoping right now I'm just in the present. I'm in the moment. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the moment because I understand also there's other stuff that's happening on Days. This isn't like Beyond Salem where you get 5 days of the same storyline. You may get Monday, Tuesday, maybe not on Wednesday, but a Thursday and a Friday. You see, I'm just hoping certain beats are played. I hope they include, and let me say this, I hope they include everybody that's tied in to Bo and Hope.
Yeah.
We know that Robert Scott Wilson is going to be doing double duty. We know Rob is going to do that.
Yes, we do that. They have to. They have to do it.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest about something. And Sin fans, don't come at me. But again, we got to think about time. Time is of the essence because you can't. I mean, yes, Sierra, better be Sean. You see what I'm saying about that with Sean, okay? Yes, you could have if you could not have had, and I understand Rob is on that show. I get it. I totally get it. But at the same time, sometimes a writer can either include it or not include it. But it also depends on how long the character of Ben is going to be on the scene. You see what I'm saying? Because I get what was said about Sierra wanting Ben to meet Daddy. But right now we got to go through a lot of stuff to get to that, you know. So I'm gonna enjoy this. I want to see how Harris plays into it. I'm just looking forward to this adventure. I'm ready. I'm ready for an adventure.
I am too.
You know what? When you were talking about the iconic super couples, it actually reminded me of something that had just entirely slipped my mind. When I was in the military, I was in Germany, 1990. And Days of Our Lives was the only U.S. soap that played on on AFN TV, on the American TV network. And I did watch Days for about 8 months, and it was during the Patch and Kayla kind of Phantom of the Opera story, you know, where he was in the – oh, my gosh. And I'd only ever watched General Hospital up to that point, and I was just entranced by it, and then I got stationed elsewhere, and I quit watching soap. But I remember that, and it was just mind-blowing how well it was done and how rich the quality was and how good the writing was and how I got embroiled in it so easily.
Yep.
Yeah. And each of these couples, and let me just say this. Okay, yes, you do have Ben and Sierra being the next generation. You do have Sean and Belle being the iconic couple from two super couples. You have a couple, which is Steve and Kayla, because we know that Steve and Kayla are part of this. They have the number one Days episode with their wedding. That is Days of Our Lives' number one wedding, the most watched, and they're the number 3 out of the Luke. It follows by Luke and Laura. You got Luke and Laura, Steve and Betsy, and Steve and Kayla for the most watched weddings. You got Bo and Hope and that iconic. So these couples that's in the story arc, including Paul, we can see Paul and Andrew. Come on now. This is hey, Ron, Ryan, Jamie, and crew over there. This is really Beyonce on 3, isn't it? It's okay. All right, I got it. All right, I got it.
Probably.
Right. Yeah,
4 minutes, guys. We got 4 minutes.
Yeah. So I just can't wait. I really can't wait for all the soaps to see what they're going to do. GH, going forward, I want to see what they're going to do with their, Nurses Ball, the tribute, and the story that's going to carry half of this year. Young and the Restless, their 50th and after, because come mid-April, that's where we're going to probably notice a change. Days of Our Lives with the Bo and Hope stuff, and with Bold and Beautiful, I want to know, is Bill and Deacon really working together to bring Shirley down? Because if so, I would like my money. Everybody here at Take Two would like their money. Okay?
Yes.
And same thing today.
Definitely buy a cappuccino for that, yeah.
Yeah.
Screw that. I ain't getting no cappuccino. I want my money. I want the check. I want the money in my Venmo.
All right.
Thank you, Dave.
What I will say
Dave.
real quick is be sure to check us out at soapdirt.com. But also, I am still looking forward to Bo and Hope. That's like my big one for Days right now, and I want everybody entangled in it. At General Hospital, I want Victor to do something bad or to take his limp penis and leave town. Over at Bold, yes, Deacon and Bill and Sheila. I'm into that because everybody else is kind of boring or recycling plots. And I do hope that Ridge comes back with a woman. That'd be great. If he's married to Shauna, I'd cheer. I would scream. I'd wet myself. And let's see, and YR. I still don't think that baby is Adam's, but I don't care. What I'm really excited about,
going to make it.
Maybe not, because Nikki and Summer, they're all plotting to get Adam back with her, and I would be surprised if that pregnancy makes it to fruition. And I'm just hoping we get to see Mariah and Tessa's baby before it's shipped off to boarding school. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, you got a minute, guys.
All right.
Thank you, Rachel, for joining us tonight.
Very glad to be here. Hopefully, I can be here next time as well.
Thank you, Candace, as always. We miss you, Anthony.
Not a problem. Yeah, Anthony, where are you at?
We'll say bye on we'll say goodbye on his behalf. He had to go. So we'll say bye on his behalf, and let's hope that Willie feels better and he can be here next time.
Right. Thank you, everybody.
Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit Take2Radio.com.